All right, let's do this. Ready for another deep dive? Today we're going to be checking out Astral Girl by Exoverse.
Ooh, good pick.
It's so good. I was listening to it earlier, and oh man, such a vibe, such a total vibe. You get those 80s like synthwave feels, but then there's this modern edge to it too. It's like futuristic almost.
Yeah, and Exoverse is so interesting. I mean, they're this Italian musical project, and they've really kind of created a niche for themselves.
Yeah.
Their sound is so cinematic,
Yes.
and you can definitely hear those retro influences, but they've really spun it into something new and expansive.
Yeah, for sure.
And Astral Girl, it's a perfect example of that.
It
It
is.
came out back in August, and I think it's really been making waves.
Yeah.
People are really responding to it.
And you can tell why right from the beginning, like those opening synth pads.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a warm bath for your ears,
Yeah.
just all shimmery and atmospheric.
And it's cool how they use the pads to kind of build up the anticipation.
R-
They hold back on that main melody for a bit and just let those lush textures, almost ambient textures, just sort of wash over you.
Yeah.
So it's like they're really setting the stage. It creates this sense of like cosmic grandeur before the real journey starts.
It does. And then those twinkling arpeggios come in.
Yeah.
It's like stardust is just being sprinkled across the soundscape.
Totally.
It just makes it so magical
No.
and otherworldly. It's like, when you're looking up at a night sky and it's just filled with stars, it's like that feeling.
It is, and it's almost like those arpeggios are kind of like they're tracing the constellations, right?
Yes.
Connecting all the dots between the stars and creating these larger patterns in the music. And it's so subtle, but it adds so much depth and texture.
It does. And then you're kind of floating in this cosmic bliss, and then bam, the bass line kicks in.
Yeah.
And it's not like overpowering or anything, but it's just this steady pulse.
Right.
It's like a heartbeat, like drumming through space.
Yeah.
It grounds the whole thing.
Definitely. Yeah, it gives it this sense of momentum, like it's moving forward.
Exactly.
And I think that's really important,
Yeah. Oh.
that rhythmic grounding, because without it, the song might just feel like too airy, too abstract.
Right.
But that bass line, it's like an anchor.
Yeah.
And kind of keeps you from drifting off into the void.
Exactly. It's like the gravitational pull,
No?
while you're exploring the galaxy. Okay, so the instrumentation, I love it. It's like, did they raid like a vintage synth shop
Yeah.
and then plug all of it into like a spaceship control panel?
Totally.
It's
Yeah.
got these warm, fuzzy tones, but then these like crisp, futuristic rhythms.
Yeah, it's really interesting how they're able to blend those two, like, seemingly opposite elements together.
Yeah.
And it works so well. I mean, you're right. It's got those classic analog synths, but then it's layered with these modern electronic textures and rhythms. It's like nostalgic and futuristic at the same time.
Yes.
It's not just a retro thing. They've really made something new.
And the way they use effects is so cool. Like the reverb and the delay, it's like the music is just expanding
Yeah.
in all directions.
It's very three-dimensional.
Three-dimensional. It's like you're immersed in the sound. It's like you're wearing noise-canceling headphones, but instead of blocking everything out, it's taking you somewhere.
It really is. And I think it's really smart how they use the space in the mix, too. It's not about just filling every single sonic crevice with sound.
Right.
It's about having those pockets of emptiness where the individual elements can kind of breathe.
Yeah.
So that reverb and that delay, it just makes it feel like the music's unfolding around you.
It does. It does. Okay, can we talk about the vocals
Oh, yeah.
and the singer? She's mesmerizing.
Your voice is amazing.
Ethereal, dreamy, but powerful.
Yes.
And there's this vulnerability in her voice, that really pulls you in.
Totally. I think it's really her use of dynamics that's so cool. Like, she can go from these really soft, almost whispered phrases
Yeah.
to these powerful, like, belted out moments.
Yeah.
And it's so controlled. She really uses her voice like an instrument,
Yeah, she does. She does.
And it draws you in with that intimacy, but then she can just blow you away with her power.
And then there's that male vocal.
Oh, yeah.
It comes in later, and I love how it starts as this subtle harmony.
Yeah, it's almost like a whisper in your ear.
Yes, and then it breaks through.
It does.
And it's like this passionate, almost rap-like delivery.
It is.
Such a cool contrast.
Yeah, and it's such a clever way to introduce that male vocal.
Right.
It creates this dialogue, like a back and forth between these two voices, and as a listener, you're really engaged. Like, you want to know where the song's going to go next.
Right.
Who's going to take the lead? Whose voice is going to dominate? It's really cool.
It's like they're having this conversation musically,
Naturally.
with the synthesizers chiming in. And the way the music swells and recedes, It's almost like it's responding to the emotions in the vocals.
Absolutely. It's like a musical call and response.
It's like a
And
symphony.
you can tell that that Exoverse really puts so much thought into all of the elements of this song.
Yeah.
It's not just like a bunch of cool sounds thrown together. It's this carefully constructed sonic experience.
It is. Yeah.
You know, all those threads, the vocals, the instruments, those effects, it's like an intricate tapestry.
And the production quality is top-notch. Like, everything is crisp and clear.
Yeah.
You can hear every detail. I listen to it with my headphones. I listen to it in my car, and it sounds amazing both ways.
Yeah, and that's what good mastering does, right?
Yes.
Make sure that the song translates well across different listening environments. So it doesn't matter if you're listening on expensive speakers or just through your phone, it's still going to have that clarity and balance. They really care about their listeners.
I was thinking about this earlier. What really sets Astral Girl apart is how it can be, like, cosmic and personal at the same time.
Yeah.
You're listening to it, and you're thinking galaxies and nebula and the vastness of space, but then there's this emotional core to it
Totally.
that brings it back down to earth, that makes it relatable.
Yeah, and I think Exoverse is really good at that. Tapping into these, like, huge universal themes.
Right.
The cosmos exploration, the search for meaning, but they ground them in human experiences.
Right.
So it's not just about abstract concepts, it's about how those concepts connect to our lives.
Exactly. Like, we can all relate to feeling lost. Like you're in a sea of stars trying to find your own way.
Yeah.
And I think that's why this song connects with so many people. It's a cosmic journey, but it's also very human.
It really is. It reminds us that even though we're just these tiny little specks in this huge universe, we're still part of something much bigger than ourselves. And that's a pretty cool message to get across through music.
It is. All right, so I think it's time for our listeners to experience this for themselves.
You're all I want. What you looking for? Astral Girl. Can't you see the skies in the sky? I'm reflecting the world in your eyes. Have you seen a mountain so high? Baby, I'm your astral girl. Astral girl. Astral
Okay, so we've talked about the sound, the vibe of Astral Girl, but let's go deeper. Let's get into those lyrics.
Yeah, the lyrics. You know what's interesting? The lyrics in Astral Girl. It's not like a typical, storytelling kind of song.
Right.
It's not straight narrative. But the imagery, the metaphors, they're so powerful.
They are. And they create such a mood, It's like they're painting this emotional landscape.
Yeah.
A world where, like, feelings and sensations become almost cosmic in scale.
Yes. And some of the lines, they just grab you. It makes me think of when you're looking up at the stars and you feel so small.
Uh-huh.
But then there's also this sense of awe and wonder that makes you feel connected to something bigger.
Exactly. And that's what Astral Girl captures so well. It's that tension between feeling lost and feeling found, insignificant and infinitely connected.
And even though Astral Girl has this cosmic, like, otherworldly vibe,
Yeah,
it's also got this very human, like, heart to it,
it does.
especially when it comes to, love. There's some seriously
Yes.
romantic lines.
Yeah, there are. And it's not your typical love song, It's about, like, a deeper connection.
Right.
Finding your soulmate in this vast universe.
Right.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's about two people coming together to create something new and unique.
I think that's why Astral Girl speaks to so many people, no matter what their relationship status is.
Right.
We've all felt those intense emotions,
Mhm.
that longing, that pull towards someone.
Totally. It's about those universal human experiences. Love, loss, the search for meaning. And by putting them against this backdrop of the cosmos, it just takes them to another level.
It does. It does. As we're talking about this, I can't help but think about my own experiences with love and connection. Like,
Yeah.
have you ever felt that kind of, like, cosmic pull towards someone? Like you were meant to meet, like, in this crazy universe.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like, there have been times when I've felt this undeniable connection with someone, like it was fate, like we were supposed to meet.
Yeah, it's like it's beyond logic.
It is. It's like a deep knowing, a sense of recognition.
Like you've known each other for lifetimes.
Yeah.
Even if you've just met.
And that's the beauty of it, right? Love can transcend time and space. It connects us in ways that we don't always understand.
Like a secret language.
It is.
And Astral Girl speaks that language.
It
It captures the essence of love as this, like, cosmic force that connects us across this vastness of space and time.
That's a great way to put it. It's powerful.
Listening to this song, it just fills me with this sense of hope, you know?
Uh-huh.
That even in this crazy world, there's still room for magic and connection.
There is. It's out there.
Okay, so before we go any further, I want to hear from our listeners. What did you think about the lyrics of Astral Girl?
Yeah. Did any of the lines resonate with you? Did it make you think about your own experiences with love or the universe?
Share your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah, we want to hear from you.
And of course, if you haven't already, listen to the full song. We've got the link in the episode description.
You won't regret it.
So until next time, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep reaching for the stars.
And who knows, maybe we'll all meet out there someday, dancing among the constellations.
Yes.